work for now. See what that does for us. Get a little bit to make sure I got this right. Get it all set up here. Do I have sound? I don't know if I have sound. Do I have sound? I can't tell. It appears I have sound. To some extent. So, I suppose, get started off with somewhere. Haven't done anything to this since I bought it, so I have no clue what I'm getting into or if I'll even get it running today. Well, that makes life a little easier. It already has spark. Oh, you're telling me this has been sitting on my shelf with spark for 8 months? That's a little weird. Well, I guess I don't have to do anything with that now. Well, shoot. This might be a lot shorter stream than I was planning. So, I suppose I don't know if I've got any like the best looking oil in the world, but I mean it's better than nothing. Quite golden. Or maybe not. Maybe that's just the dipstick. The dipstick's quite tinted. It has enough oil. Well, shoot. I guess we can put some gas in and see if it spews everywhere. I don't think this fuel line's any good. should be enough for now. Sediment bowl's filling up. A little too quick for my liking. Attached to something. There's no way this will pop right off. Can't imagine. I suppose before I run it, I should take the plug out of the bottom of the carb and see if it drains a bunch of crud out. Might save me from having to clean out the carburetor. A little bit of stuff came out. Well, the gas looked like sludge. Well, darn. This is going smoothly. I don't like it. I suppose where'd my starter rope go? Oh, there's one. I need a Clinton for my 1941 Moto Scoot. Does anyone have one? Well, Clintons weren't made till 1946, so there shouldn't be a Clinton on a 41 Moto Scoot. That would be a Briggs. No way. That can't be possible. I guess I should have picked a different one. I got some other things to bring up here to try next. Ooh, that runs nice and slow. Look at that. That is slow. That's sweet. Oh, that's sweet. Never would have thought it would have been that easy. I've never had good luck with this model of putting in my life. They know they hate me. Don't die. Don't die. Aw. Maybe it was a tad slow. Oh, I can fix that like that. Well, shoot. I was planning to make this like a 3-hour stream with this one. I guess I'll have to bring in another one. Compression now. Ooh, damn. Barely turn it on the table now. This got some good compression to it. Oh, come on now. Did the luck run out? Probably. Come on, don't fail me now. You were working so good. That was beautiful. I guess with good luck comes horrible luck at some point. Turn it up a bit. I think the luck of slow ran out. Oh, come on now. Okay then. Get rid of the table rumble and it sounds pretty quiet. But it has a nice rumble to it with the table. Oh, come on. Darn you. Well then. I guess I'm done with this one. 1447 Clinton 700 series. I think this is 722 ARB. So it has a reduction on it. That's the R. I'm not sure what the other two numbers mean, but really nice original paint on it. And apparently runs like a champ without anything for me to do with it. Trying to walk away on me. Just like that. How long have I been streaming? Been streaming 15 minutes and it's already running like a champ. Well then. I shut the gas off. We'll see if it runs out or not. I'll let it run for a bit until it runs out of gas, see what it does. Then we'll move on to a different thing, I guess, since this is done. Oh, let's sit right there. It doesn't vibrate as bad. Well, I guess I don't want to run out of gas too bad, so I guess I'll just have to shut it off. Well, it's getting there. It don't rev anymore, so it's getting there. Dale Dermott, miss you. Yeah, you too. Been busy. There it goes. It's starting to run out now. Thomas Kelly, glad to see you too. Die. This one quit. There we go. Come on. There you go. Well then, I guess I'm done with this. That was a whole whopping 15 minutes of fame for you. So, left a little residue on the table, but nothing too bad. I guess we'll go to something more modern. Let me get... I 100% was figuring I'd have to be busy. I'd be busy working on that one for a good hour and a half because that's a 700 series and I've never had good luck with the early 700 series Clintons. they've never cared to like me. So I guess we'll move on to this mid-60s Clinton. It's a 3.5 horse. It's a little bit newer than I originally wanted to go for, but I guess it's all I have in the room right now that's like able to be worked on at the moment. But yeah, so I guess I'm going to update my description here a little bit. Go back to the live video. I'm on now. Give me a second here. Thomas Pelly, so this is your new shop? Sort of, kind of. It's a friend's place, I guess you'd call it. Said I could use it, so I'm using it at the moment until I figure something out for myself. So this is, yeah, I'd say 1960s at least. What model is it? 404 Clinton 4-stroke. Haven't messed with this one either since I bought it. These style, with this style of tank, have a tendency to either rip or rot on the bottom of the tank. This one's nice and clean, so that's going to help me out tremendously. The thing I don't like, though, is this little primer bulb could cause me problems. Some of these, if they have the primer bulb on these later ones, if they're messed up, they don't run right. But this one looks like it's just a pressurizer for the whole fuel bowl, so I should be fine. These also are some of the earlier ones with a foam filter, so they're quite disintegrating. Somebody actually put like a Scotch-Brite pad in this one. I don't know how well you can see that, but it's like a scrubbing pad of some sort. But yeah, it does this. Quite crumbly. So it's always good to check on these Aero ones to take this out before you try and mess with it. Yep, it did it on both sides, so there's 2 layers of it. Big old scruffy pad with some bad foam on the back. Pretty odd. Anyhow, let's see if this one even has spark. It has compression. Spark plug's stuck. Spark plug looks like it was ran recently, so that's possibly a good thing. I think I heard it. Well, shoot, this one has spark too. This is not going well for content. Is this one just going to run on gas too? That would suck. It's hard to make content when they're just working. And a lot of these from like the 50s on up to the 70s, Clinton used a lot of Walboro LMG carbs, and those have a little button on the bottom that can make it so you can drain the bowl when you're done, which was a good idea in the day, and it worked good for a long time until like 30 years after, and there's a little rubber seal on the button on the bottom goes bad, and they always puke with gas. So it's right there. I don't know how well the camera picks that up. I'm not picking this up to the camera, but little button here. When you press it, gas comes out. This one's not dripping, so that's either been replaced or otherwise. A lot of Tecumsehs of that era used them too, after Tecumseh bought out Lawson. Uh-oh. That's not a good sign. Probably means the breather hole on this thing's plugged. That's great. Fantastic. At least there's something to do. Getting gas everywhere. Get the straw. Well, that didn't help. That's nice. That's good. Exactly what we need. Yes. Screwdriver. Oh. Ooh, it's really puking out of there now. Get the... Oh yeah. Get a nicely soaked rag there. Breathe, darn it. Hey. I might have done it. So yeah, this one's the kind where it has the little primer bulb. Get that up in your view. Has the little primer bulb. Somebody messed with this one in the past 5 years because this is the new style hose they use on them. And this one just goes into the breather tube, so it has a hole in the top here. Probably bugs in there or something that are plugging it. And that's what caused it to overflow on there, because there's no way for the air to escape the chamber besides through the jet, so it's just forcing gas through the jet of the carburetor, just dumping gas out instead of filling the carb with gas. So, for now, I'll leave all this covered stuff off. Wipe off some of the flammable gas on the whole table. This might start now. Or not. It might just start dribbling again. That seems like a reasonable answer. So now it might just be the float sunk. Yeah, the float might be sunk now. Well, for the meantime, let's see if it runs, I guess. Because it probably will run like this. Oh wait, I should check the oil first. Needs a little bit. That's good for now. I expect it'll fire up. but it's probably quite flooded from all that. Okay then. I take that as a fair response for how it was puking gas out. Don't sound like it's adjusted very well. Now it might just be carburetor problems, which isn't surprising considering what it was puking out. These ones are always a little finicky too. They have not a very good idling engine. They're a good powerhouse, that's about it. Okay, so I need a bolt that I probably don't have. This is why I like engines with fuel shutoffs. I don't have this problem. Okay. So it ran, sort of. Now I just got to get this one has a crankcase breather into the intake, so I got to take the air cleaner off to get that off because it's plumbed into the valve cover. And it's easier to take this off than to take it out of the valve cover and put it back in. That right there is plumbed into the valve cover, so it'll stay right there. Sometimes these little studs come out with the bolt, which makes it a pain in the butt to get them out all the way. They use little studs with nuts on them to hold the carbs on these. I've still normally had a better time removing these than the little bitty screw on a pulse jet Briggs. Those little pulse jet Briggs carbs are a pain to get off if you're in the wrong circumstances. Yep, this one did exactly what I was talking about. So they'll come out like that. And if you're not careful, sometimes they'll be threaded just right that this will hit the carburetor on the end and it won't come out all the way. And then you have to try and finagle with a pair of vice grips to wiggle woggle it out, because you can't get them out hardly ever when they do that. That's normally on this side I'm taking out right now. But this one, the stud ain't coming out, so I'm good. And if you're trying to keep the paint on these, that just reminded me when I'm taking this nut off, carb cleaner will take the paint right off these aluminum ones. So if you're trying to keep the paint, like if you have it on a machine that it matches, or you just have really nice paint you want to keep, or you're like me and you just don't like removing old paint, be careful with carb clean on these aluminums, because it'll just rip it right off. Now it's trying to turn the stud a bit. But now it's loose enough, I should get by whether I do or not. There we go. Where'd my magnet go? Really strong 1 inch by 3/4 inch neodymium magnets are the best thing for when you're doing these little bitty screws and things. They attach everything. And then you can just kind of like do that and you have your carburetor parts. So, first off, the gasket on this thing is made out of a piece of plastic. Like a piece of a milk jug or something. Trying to help in my cause. And these tend to warp a lot on this flange here. Oh my, you can see that one without even putting like a straight edge on it. So let me get this busted open so there's less gas pouring down the arm when I show it to you. Hopefully the gasket ring, there's a ring of a gasket that's like 1/8 of an inch thick that goes around to seal this bowl. I don't have one on hand, so hopefully it stays okay. It did. Get the pin out. The float don't slosh, so it ain't a float problem, which is good. So yeah, the gasket's fine there. So let me find something straight and flat so I can show you how warped these get. That's probably part of my problem with how it was running. I don't know how well this will show in here. You should not be able to see through that slot there. That means that it's warped that much. And you can't see it real bad. But you can see how that shines right now. I just scratch a little bit with the file. And it's only hitting the edges like that. So that's how warped they get. And that's a big problem getting these to run right some days. It's a fairly easy fix of shave it off. Just shave until it has a nice smooth surface along the whole body. And then you have to be making sure when you get it done, you have to clean it out real good, so you don't get chips in your engine. And even after removing all that, it's still extremely warped. Okay, so we're getting close now. So now you can see the side-to-side warp because we got end to end here, but top to bottom isn't quite done. So you notice how the top warped more than the bottom because the bottom's actually getting filed now. So now I take it in hand so I can watch as I do it better. I don't think I'm going to probably get all the way cleaned up, but it'll sure be a lot better than what it was. And then if you don't have the option to get this nice and flat, but most people have files, you can use, most of these gaskets are made out of a harder material. Like I have one over here somewhere. I think this is the right one. Yeah, that's the right one. Most of them are made out of a harder material like this pink gasket material like this. But if they're really if they're really warped and you don't have a good way to unwarp it, just use some gasket material like this made out of cork. That'll help compensate with its cork's a lot squishier. It'll help compensate with the warp. Compensate for the warp. And if you want less cleanup, hold the throttle shut so it doesn't have more chips falling all the way through. But it's normally best to clean all the way through anyway. Now, I don't have the air on in here either, which isn't really helping my cause to get this cleaned out as best as I should. But I'll wipe it out with a rag and call it good. Unless I see a lot, then I'll have to go get air. But I just coated this with carb cleaner quick, and I'm letting it soak a bit, and I'm going to blast it again, and it should get rid of a lot of the grease and grime that's on here. Better. But it probably can soak a little more, but it'll be able to show you the point now. So this is good enough to me because it still has a bad spot there, but it started touching this outer ring, which means it's really close to size. And these aren't very thick, so I don't want to take more meat off and ruin the structural integrity. So it's a lot flatter than it was, but there's still a little bit of imperfectness in there. And that'll help out a lot. Because that one was pretty warped, so there's a very good chance it was sucking a fair bit of air in there while it was running. And that's why I was thumping so hard, good like chance. So now I'm going to quick get, unless I lost it, the plastic straw for the carb cleaner and clean out the carburetor quick. Gotta be real careful with these jets in here. They strip out extremely easily. There ain't a lot of screw head to them. So you gotta be real careful. If they're trying to strip, it's probably best to, if you can't get a good bite on it and it ain't turning easy, it's probably just best to leave it in there. And if you can't get it clean just by blasting carburetor cleaner through it, just to probably see if you can find another carburetor on eBay or something. Because by the time you gnarl this all up and lose your screwdriver slot, you'll be messing up the threads and everything at the same time, and the carburetor will just be messed up and pretty much junk. But yeah, you can see it's not a lot of screwdriver grab there. So, all looks to check out now. Get a little bit more of a cleaning at the idle jet first here. Leo Osborne, hello. Randy might do stuff. Hello. How'd that look? I got to check. Sometimes the idle circuits on these get misaligned inside a little bit, and then they get bent and broke off. This one seems to be pretty good. So, after doing all that, this looks to be pretty set. So now it's just time to shove it all back together and see if it works. And I always set, when I put these carburetors on any small engine, unless it's an oddball thing, I normally put the carburetors together. Once they're together, I put the 2 needles, if it's not a preset jet, I put the 2 needles at 2 turns out and then work from there. The manuals originally said normally on a lot of these it's normally 1.5 turns for the main and 1 turn for the idle a lot of times, or somewhere in that area. And I normally like to have them a little bit rich because it'll make them run a little bit rich, but it'll make more of a chance of running than running lean if one of the jets has a problem. This jet's trying to fight me on its way back in, and I don't like that. I don't like that at all. It ain't with me right now apparently, but I had a screwdriver that was the perfect size to do these. So that you have as much possible grip on that jet as you could get. So that's pretty messed up in there now. It probably won't come back out. But I appear to have gotten it in. So that's, I guess, the big deal. So now get this all reassembled and check the. Somebody put an oddball needle in this, and I don't like that too much. Might be part of the problem. I don't know if I have an extra carb sitting over here or not. I don't think I do. I do not, so hopefully this will work. It appears it's not working correctly. It ain't letting fuel in all the time now. So I can try. I have a couple other little random engines sitting here, including this one in the background. They both have the same carb. I really don't want to gut one of those, but it might be what I have to do. There's one right here. Quick grab it off of. Do this without taking the carburetor off. That's a lot proper, more needle. I like that much better. I'll put all this one bits off to the side. I'll get back to him putting it back together later. But this will get us by for this one for now. 11 viewers, that's a little bit more than normal for me. So we're doing pretty good today. Just like that. That's much more like I want. Now I just gotta put the height in. I think I just noticed a crack on this float. But I don't know if it's on the inside. I think it's just on the pad on the top. Yeah. It was bending weird, and I noticed there's a crack here that shouldn't be there, but it keeps it on it, so I don't believe it's a problem, because it ain't a leak. If it was a leak on the inside, then I'd be worried. But since it's just outside, it should be fine. Alan Scott, hello. My needle's seating now, so that's good. There's, on these LMG style carburetors, on a lot of these, there's two. The jet holds the bowl on, but there's a gasket on the bottom on the outside and a gasket on the inside on that nut with the needle in it. So you gotta make sure you put one of those in it, otherwise it doesn't. I'm not sure if it will mess it up too bad, but it's good to pay attention to. And there's no wrong way to put these bottoms on these, but it's always good to have this at easy access. And if this is leaking for you, the way I always fix them if they're leaking is I put a screw through that, so you can get a small self-tapper with a O-ring on it and just plow it into there and it'll seal that up. You won't have problems with that anymore. So, I suppose, put it back together and see if it works. Now what you can do with the, alright, I put them on the magnet. What you can do with these messed up studs, if the stud didn't come off right, unless the threads are really messed up like this one is now, which means I can't really use my example. This one's been all chewed up, somebody used like a vice grip on it. What you can do is you can put these on with that, after you get this nut loose, so it'll actually turn, tighten the nut all the way up, put this on here without the carb on it, and tighten that up, and then take the nut off, so you have the stud in there. This one's messed up pretty bad, so I'll just leave it. See you later, Brandy. Alan Scott, I'm having a fit with my damn Yanmar, won't stay running, and it runs like garbage. Sounds like you have carb issues. Get that there. Grab my nut off my magnet. The only pain in the butt part of with that stud out is getting the gasket to line up properly, which ain't the end of the world, but it's a little bit of a nuisance sometimes. Can't get the nut to go on. Get some penetrant on that. Oh, that's much better. That one's on. Now before I tighten it up, I need to get that stud in. And you have to remember, if you're missing a stud on one of these, or if you have one of your studs out, is there's a fine thread and a coarse thread side to these studs. The nuts that are on the carburetor are fine thread, but the block holes where the studs go into are coarse thread. So if you're trying to put these back in and you have one backwards, you'll mess up some threads pretty quick in the aluminum. So now, get this tightened up quick. I almost forgot to put the governor back on. I'll do that here though. That's good. I'm getting way off frame, I realize. Not bad for that. Get these tightened down and put the gas on and see if it'll run. So, get the adjustment needle on the bottom set to 2. Get this ready to shove back on. Like so. Give that a second to breathe up. Gas is going in the carburetor like it should, so that's good. Throttle's still a little bent from putting it in the wrong way. So I'm waiting to make sure that carburetor ain't overflowing. I'm going to get my throttle fixed there. So now my throttle ain't bent up. And it don't bind. So we got gas in the carb and it ain't puking out of it. We'll see if it runs. See how it goes. I forgot to set the idle jet. 1, 2. Of course you do. So it appears the idle doesn't work worth a darn on this one, which I've dealt with on these before. They do that a lot. sounds pretty good now too. Not too shabby. The governor spring is broken. See if I can make a temporary fixed one. These have a very, very light governor compared to some engines. All this guarding back on and see how well it works. See if the governor spring even works at all. See that governor works. Not near as smooth as the other one on idle, but they've always been that way. Well, that's two down, both of which were a lot easier to fix than I was planning. So, not sure what I should do next. I was originally intending that first one to take a couple hours at least on its own, and both of these I got done in an hour and 8 minutes. Well, darn it. I guess this stream's going to be shorter than I planned. There was a little water in this one's crankcase because the oil became cream. There's the oil that was in it. It's nice cream now. Probably he'll drain that and replace it. So yeah, both of those run now. That was way too easy. Long time no video. Yeah, been busy moving and figuring things out, so I haven't had time to make videos. But yeah, might make another. Trying to get back into making videos properly, but just been so busy. It's hard to get back in the loop of things, but working at it. Hence why there's a live stream today. So, yeah. 3.5 horse 1960s Clinton and a 1947 700A Clinton. Both of those work now. This one runs surprisingly better than I ever thought it would, and this one runs about how every one of these style I've ever ran has. They're quite peppy, powerful little motors, but they idle not very well. So. I suppose I'll try cut the stream off here. I don't have any other good examples to try and work on today in this shed, so I guess I'll leave them and find some more for another day and hopefully do this again in the future. Seemed like a good idea, so I figured I'd try it. Normally, if my luck goes, I'd be spending a good half a day on this, and then something would keep me stuck for a couple weeks. This one, those normally are fairly reliable, so I wasn't too worried. But these have a tendency to have bad carburetor problems and mag problems. So I was figuring it'd be quite the workout today, and I was planning to do the whole afternoon this way. But I guess I don't have to. So, thanks so much for anybody that tuned in. I see there's 10 people watching right now, so I kind of hate to cut it off, but I don't have anything else to really show. There's a vertical shaft back there I'd like to get running, but I don't have anything to mount it to run it on, so I can't really work on it. There's also a couple other horizontals, but they're the exact same as these, and I really don't want to do more of those in one video because it's kind of redundant. So there's 2 more of those over here. There's a big flywheel engine, there's a 3-horse flywheel engine underneath this bench here, but there's a whole different setup to get that thing out and running, so I can't do it right now. But yeah, this one's going in. I'm a collector of Clinton engines, so this one's going in my collection. This one I might sell to a friend because I already have a nice one of these. I try and find them with nice original paint, hence why this one has the nice 4-cycle precision built all-purpose the Clinton air-cooled engine on it, because these decals peel off really bad. This one tried to before I got a hold of it. So hopefully start posting more regular videos. Can't guarantee it because I never know how things are going to go. Janus, old farm equipment, tools and implements. I'm not sure what you're asking about there, bud. So I didn't even have to take the darn mud dauber nest out of this to get the flywheel off, I just noticed. Well, that's nice. I think too often you have an engine, you don't have to take that out. Crispy. So yeah, that was working good. If one of the 10 people watching hasn't left a like right now, which apparently not because there's 6 likes, please leave a like. I've been trying to grow this channel for a while now, and things got stood up, so I haven't been able to lately. I almost noticed I've gained 1,000 subscribers since the last time I had a live stream, which was the last video I uploaded. So it's growing fairly well. It felt real bad that I haven't been able to upload any good videos to it for a while it was growing, but not much I could do about it. So this seemed like an easy way to get a good video out there, something to do, and it'll put something on the channel to know that I'm not dead, so YouTube will be a little bit more happy. If YouTube's been promoting me enough to almost gain me 1,000 subscribers while I was gone, it must not hate my channel too bad, which is nice. So, yeah, leave a like if you can. Greatly appreciate it. Share the live stream when I'm done here and let other people watch it, because it went way better than I expected it to. Got 2 nice running engines out of it, which I was only expecting to maybe get 1, if not none. So, Thomas Pelly, glad to see almost 2,000 subs. Thank you. Started a while ago, but it's going good. Better than nothing. So, hope you all liked, and I hope you all enjoyed the video. If one of the 10 people isn't subscribed, please subscribe, but I highly doubt any of those people are not subscribed. They're probably just subscribers or friends, so they're doing good, but hopefully see you again in another week or 2 weeks or something. Thanks for watching. Bye.